Interviews from SightCity 2019. Vispero.
So, SightCity 2019, we are at the Freedom Scientific stand, and with me I have Jan Bloem.
Bloem, yes. Yeah, Bloem. Yeah. When you translate it to English, you can call me Johnny Flower, but or in French, right. Jean Lafleur. You know,
yeah.
It's Jan Bloem. Yeah.
Yeah. So welcome to the EBU Access Cast.
Thank you.
And can you tell us shortly what Vispero has for us for this year, from the new stuff?
For the new stuff for Vispero, well, we have, of course, what we are already familiar with the latest updates for JAWS, Fusion, and Zoom Text.
Right.
That's what we have, all compatible, up to date, also for the latest Windows 10 releases, etc.
Mm-hmm.
That is an ongoing process. But what we have here as well is the new, we have an update for the Focus Blue Braille displays.
Okay.
From the 14, 40 and 80 cells, we released an update, and we were already providing the possibility that you can make notes, you know, in the scratch pad on the Focus.
Yeah, right.
And we are now supporting also the TXT file format. So that you can save it in text format, and that you can simply copy-paste all the files on the SD card to the PC or to another device where you're connected with.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's new. What we have else is, well, we have updated the Omni Reader. That's also new for SightCity.
Mm-hmm.
That is an OCR scanning and reading device.
Okay.
That is a successor of the iPal Ace. So it's the only scanning and reading device with a built-in screen. So that is quite nice for low vision people, and also for sighted people who are supporting the blind students or that people are always scared, Mario. You recognize that, I think, as well. And when you are walking around and using a blind-only device, then people are, hey, what is it doing? You know, and when you have a screen that sighted people can see what's going on, that is really helpful. So the Omni Reader has the look and feel of the iPal Ace, but it's completely new inside. So that is really a nice new device.
Okay.
Then for Optelec Germany, we have here also the ClearView Go, a new CCTV device. That is a portable CCTV device with 15-inch screen, and that's about it. What we have new for new devices, Mario, here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, recently we saw the possibility for now. It was introduced for the US customers, where the people who are users of JAWS and Fusion could upgrade to the annual licenses. Yeah. Is there any news that such thing would come to Europe?
Not yet. Not yet. No, that is as you know, also from your personal experiences, I think, and the listeners will do that as well. Yeah. In Europe, we have a much more complex system for funding than in the US. Mm-hmm. So it is more depending on what country, also the funding system. And also we are working here with localized versions. Right. And in the US you have only one English version. Yeah. But people like the idea, and we are working on an idea system. Technically it is all possible, but it is also a thing of politics and policies, etc. And to find the right way to keep the best service and the best way of providing the software. Right. But we're working on it, and it is for sure an idea to spread it all over.
Okay, so we can say like that it's a work in progress?
Yeah, it is not to say when, and it's also not to say for what country it will work or for what country it won't work. Mm-hmm. But keep us, we will inform you when it will be available.
Okay, so fingers crossed.
For that. Yeah, it is always possible to keep it up, and We are in Europe already lucky that there is a funding system.
Sure.
I live in the Netherlands, and it is always possible to get it via the health insurance for a private situation, or when you're in the working or study environment. The government will always fund what you need.
Okay, yeah.
We are so luxury in this part of the world.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right.
And looking forward to hear more episodes from your podcast.
Well, absolutely. The next one is in 2 weeks. So.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Health Tech.
Hello, my name is Sigge Kipke. I'm the CEO and owner of Handytech, and now we call HealthTech since 2 years. We are the manufacturer of the Handytech BRAL devices, and we have a whole range of different BRAL displays, from starting with a very compact mobile device called the Actilino. I hold it in my hand. It's a 16-cell Braille note-taking device. You have also a Braille keyboard built in, 16 concave-shaped Braille cells, and there's a lot of special functions which makes it unique. One thing I want to mention is the concave-shaped Braille cells. So all the other Braille displays have flat cells. Here, it's based on an ergonomic study. It's a concave shape and leaning backwards, so giving you a very relaxed hand positioning. It has a built-in note-taking device. For example, it says here now in German Datei, but we can change it to 20 different languages, including Arabic and Chinese we are supporting, but basically all European languages. What I would like to show you, you see when you're reading here, you find on the last position a question mark. If I press here, then you can read the explanation text, and if you scroll on, it automatically detects your reading position. So it's like a touchscreen for blind users. It's a touch-sensitive Braille display, knowing your reading position. And this is, for example, also done when you're doing Braille music notations. So I can, for example, start a music Braille and type in some musical characters, and when you touch the musical notes, you hear them. So it's a very interactive way that you can place the cursor and do your own compositions and save them. Also save them as MIDI files, so that you can use them in keyboards. So this is also an example. We have also built in a microphone and loudspeakers. So the microphone you can also use for a Bluetooth connection to a smartphone, for making phone calls or Skype. At the same time, you have a Bluetooth connection to your smartphone using voice over or other screen readers, TalkBack, BrailleBack from also Android. So we support 3 Bluetooth connections parallel. Plus we have a USB connector. The USB connector is a magnetic connector, so just to make it simple to connect, and it's also reversible, so it's very simple, and it's a light-weighted note-taking device.
It's really not heavy.
What also I want to highlight is that we're using standard lithium batteries. So I take it out of this compact carrying bag. And I turn it around, and what you see in the back here is a compartment. And in this compartment you find a rechargeable.
Is the battery like for the phone, Peter.
Yeah, exactly. This is like for a smartphone battery. Using very easy to exchange for yourself and very compact. So it's besides
Nice.
this compact units, we have also different 40 character braille displays. Called the Active Braille or the Active Star. Active Star has a built-in QWERTY keyboard, a standard keyboard, instead of a Braille keyboard. We have also workplace equipment for like the modular system, modular evolution, also using this ATC technology, this touchscreen technology for detecting the reading position. New for SightCity 2019 is that we are presenting a new version of a Braille display called the Active Braille Plus. Active Braille Plus is a very compact. I have it, hold it also here in my hand.
Sorry. Yes. This is how many cells?
It's 40 characters,
40.
and you see, it's greeting you. What makes it special is we have now a built-in Braille keyboard. It's the first time we have a very flat, just 2 millimeter flat Braille keyboard with a rubber kind of keys.
Oh, keys, yes.
They are very, very quiet. I'm typing now. You hear nothing because it's a very, very, very quiet keyboard.
Yes.
A very efficient way of typing in. And this is brand new, and we are very proud to present Basic Braille Plus now. Also using a Bluetooth connectivity or this magnet connector for USB. And with the Bluetooth connectivity, you can use it with iPhone, our smartphones. We are very proud now that we are also showing this year, first time, support for Kindle Fire HD. So the Amazon Kindle products from generation number 8 on, they have also built-in Braille support for our Braille displays. And this is also new this year that Braille support for Kindle is also. So we are hoping soon and here we work with Amazon that we also have access to Alexa, the Echo assistance systems. For example, you have the Echo Show running also with this voice view screen reader from Amazon, also with touchscreen and in addition with Braille output. In the future, there's a lot of new development going on, also connecting the Android or the Kindle e-book readers with Braille displays. This is also exciting. So because it opens up new possibilities here.
Yes, great. A lot of news.
And what are the prices for this new Braille display?
So the Actilino I showed first, the 16 cell note-taking device with all the multi-Bluetooth capability. End user price 2,490 euros. Different rates of tax. We have 7% tax on this, or it's we have 19, and so some countries have. Like in France, they have only 5%. In Austria, they have 20%. So you name it. So it's difficult. So the price 2,490 without tax. The Basic Braille Plus, the 40 character with the Braille keyboard. The new one also with Bluetooth has a 3,700 plus tax. Depending on the different tax rate.
Okay. Great, very interesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you for stopping by, and please look around. We are also showing the Allcam, the reading smart camera for the. We are also showing a lot of magnifying solutions, like starting from electronic magnifier, Clover 5, so 5-inch, which is supported by the Krankenkasse, by the health insurance, but also bigger solutions like Explorer 8 with 8-inch monitor, or at versions with 10-inch. What you see more and more in the future is also the combination of magnification and reading at the same time.
Yeah.
Like with Vocatex, we're showing a stand-up and a desktop magnifier with reading capability, but you also find Connect versions, foldable based on tablet PCs, also reading and magnification at the same time.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I have to say that personally I was using and I still have it, the Braille Wave, and I have still the Braille Lino, and both still work. And I'm very happy. They're not new, but I'm really happy with those devices.
Artelino, of course, offers now more. Also, what we added is, and this is also nice for the navigation with a smartphone, is this. In the center, we have also a 5-way navigation key. You can also move with your thumb, just
joystick.
Just like a joystick. We found that this is also very handy if you're using this with a smartphone.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Thank you for stopping by,
and
all the best. Have a great day. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Kanematsu.
We are here in the Kanematsu Corporation. You are from Japan, is it right?
Yes, from Japan. But we have an office in Düsseldorf. So Mr. He came from the Düsseldorf office. Mr. Tomoyoshi Kariya from Düsseldorf office. My name is Tetsuo from Japan. Yeah.
Nice. And actually, you came to the SightCity to present one of your products, which actually I'm really surprised. It's very small printer, which is able to print the text in Braille and the graphics as well.
Yes, great. So also very silent, no noise.
Actually, we were really surprised to hear that really it's very, very silent. We were standing next to the printer and we almost could not hear it. Why? How did you make it that it's so quiet? What's the thing?
This printer uses a thermal printer head. This is use a thermal heat technology. So we use a special paper. The paper has a micro capsule inside.
Okay.
So after heating the bottom side of the paper, the capsule is expand.
Okay.
So it makes a braille character and graphics.
I see. Okay. And usually, when people want to print some documents we have in Braille, they have to use a special software for translation, like the Duxbury or something else. From what I understood, for your printer, it's not required. You can print straight from the program, such as Word.
This printer is just print from PC.
From the PC, okay, yeah.
Just receive the data. The data already braille character and graphics.
Okay.
So you can use Microsoft Word, Excel, the PowerPoint, PDF, any kind of software.
Or any kind of software.
So now we co-work with a software company. So they provide translating the normal language into the braille.
Okay.
So this is our just option for.
Yeah. So with which company do you work?
Singapore also use it.
Okay.
And some Germany software company support our printer. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's and what's the price point of the product?
Currently, in Europe, now is €5,000 for printer.
For printer.
MSRP. The paper is €1.2 per sheet.
Per sheet.
Yeah, this is just started the paper that we are now promoting and some campaign price in some region.
Okay.
So we establish some distributor network. So they sell to our printer in the Europe also. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that was really nice to see. Thank you very much for
coming
to interview.
to our printer.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Braillebook.
My name is Eric and I'm from Braillebook. It's a company that is located in Barcelona. And what we have here is a small device which is like more or less the size of a mouse from our computer or a TV remote control. And there is a big characteristic, which is that we only have one Braille cell display. It's something that is new, or we are not really used to that. But in this case, instead of moving the finger over the text, is the text the one who is moving under our finger. What we can do with this little device is to upload digital documents like a PDF or EPUB or TXTs that we have in our computer. We upload them using the USB port, and then it's stored in the internal memory. We can carry 8,000 books in this device and read everywhere. Using this Braille cell display, we just need to have the finger without moving, and using the joystick that is in one of the sides, we can adjust the speed depending on how fast we want to read. We can navigate over the menu, let's say for example to choose the book that we want to read, and also we can change few settings like choosing one of the 40 languages that we have, switching on audio for example, because it's also text to speech, so at the same time that I'm reading I can listen what I'm reading, which makes the device really nice for learning Braille, especially for kids. And we can change other settings like 6 or 8 Braille dots, different reading systems depending on our skills, to switch on audio or off, the different settings.
Okay, and what text-to-speech languages are supported?
Basically, we can text-to-speech 40 languages, which we use Live Louis, and all the languages that are included in Live Louis are supported by the device.
Okay.
Which, for example, is German, French, Spanish, Portuguese, many of them.
Okay, and I noticed when I was testing it now, it can go really fast, and it's interesting the experience, because indeed what you say, it's different. But when the text goes fast, if we are good Braille readers, we can read really fast.
Yeah.
And it's practical because it's light and we can carry it wherever with us. And what is the price of the device?
The price is 395 euros, which makes a really nice product. For example, if we go on vacations and we don't want to carry our big Braille display because maybe we are afraid if we lose it or something goes wrong. So with this device we can read everywhere that we want.
And it's already possible to buy it in Europe?
Yeah, we have been in the market for 2 years, mainly in the States and South America. But right now is the first time that we are in Germany. And if we want to get this device, we can go to our website from everywhere of the world, and we can sell the device and ship it everywhere.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
American Printing House for the Blind.
So we are at the APH booth. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Dave Wilkinson. I'm the Director of Sales for the American Printing House for the Blind. And we're honored to be here at SightCity, and we have a number of products that are available here.
Okay, what did you bring for us?
Our flagship sort of product that everyone's been excited about, that you can probably hear demonstrated in the background, is a product called Code Jumper. And it is a series of different types of plastic pods that have different reactions. So that I have it set up for a Western theme, so that I can I can have a piano, like I can have an introduction for a piano, and then I can have a horse, and then it can go into a saloon, and you hear the door open.
Okay.
And then I can have like if then else statements to decide what happens next in the program. If the horse whinnies, or if I hear someone say yeehaw. I can create loops. I can also have variables like if then. So I've got it's designed to do just teach very basic programming.
Okay, yeah.
And students, and you can find out more by going to www.codejumper.com. Which is, and the product itself is called Code Jumper, and so we have a website that's called codejumper.com.
Yeah. We actually in one of our previous episodes we made we pointed to the article about the code jumper.
Yeah. Wonderful, thank you.
So we know about it.
We also have a number of other devices with us. We have a 14-cell Braille display that's called the Braille Trail. That was developed by HumanWare and is being sold by the American Printing House. It also comes with a number of Braille literacy tools and workbooks.
Okay.
We have a product called the Braille Buzz, which looks like a little Braille bumblebee.
Hi, I'm Braille Buzz.
So, and it's a little bit hard to hear in here, but when I hit buttons on the Braille Buzz,
K makes the sound as in kitten.
So I hit a K on the, I hit a K, and it tells me kitten. I've got my buttons A through M and N through Z are on little honeycombs up above the Braille keyboard. And this is just designed for a small child to get to know the Braille keyboard.
Okay, yeah.
We also have with us some products that have been popular from the past. We have a product called the Draftsman, which lets you draw on special paper and instantly see raised lines. We have a tactile graphics slate, which can be used to help draw, and can be helped draw for drawing lines like in geography.
Okay.
And then we also have a couple of other products that we brought just because they've had a high level of interest. One of them being a program called Building on Patterns, which is sort of a methodical way of being introduced to contracted and uncontracted English Braille. And we brought that with us because we think we can license that in other languages so that it would be available in other languages.
Okay.
We have a product catalog of over 1,300 products, but we have a small table, so this is all that we have with us here. But for more information on any of our products, you can always go to our website at www.aph.org.
Oh, great. That's nice. Just a few more questions before we sign off.
Yes, sir.
What's going on currently with the Orbit reader and graffiti?
The graffiti is not the graffiti is not for sale anywhere. It is still being tested by our field testers in the U.S. and I don't have a whole lot more of an update than that. The Orbit is a little bit more complicated. As you know, the Orbit was developed by a group of organizations such as APH, the RNIB, CNIB, National Federation for the Blind, etc.
Yeah.
And those organizations have a number of disputes that are being resolved through negotiations. And as a result, while the negotiations continue, we are not selling Orbit readers. It does not mean the end of the product. It means that we are not selling it at the moment.
Okay. Right.
So we hope it will be back. We don't know if or when that will be. So we pulled it from our shopping site because we didn't want people to have to wait months and months and months to get an Orbit reader.
Right.
So that's what's happening with the Orbit reader and the graffiti at this point.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because we got quite a few questions from our listeners, and people wanted to know what's going on because
absolutely
it represents. Yeah.
Well, thank you. We're glad they're interesting. We are very committed to both products, and we hope that in the future we'll be able to sell Orbits again.
All right. Okay, cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And you have a great show.
Yeah.
Dot Incorporation.
Okay, so can you tell us from which company you are and what are the products that you are presenting here today at the SightCity?
We are Dot Incorporation, and we are promote now Dot Watch and Dot Mini. So Dot Watch is the existing model, the smartwatch for the blind, and Dot Mini is the Braille book reader for education or to get rid of information gap with common people and the blind. Yes.
Okay, and the Dot Mini can support what file format?
Yes, DAISY and TXT and EPUB.
Okay, so it can speak also. It has a text-to-speech functionality.
Yes, also it can as you heard, it can you can hear the sound with voice mode.
Yes.
Yes, TTS.
Yes. And what languages are supported?
For now, this as I know, English, Korean, Russian, Arabic, and German, and so on. Yeah.
Okay.
I do not know exactly. So, but as I know, some more languages.
Okay. And so the Dot Mini is 16 cell.
Yes, 16
braille display,
Yeah.
and it can work both as a note taker.
Note taker.
To take notes, to write.
You can write with this.
Yes, and it can work.
Only read.
Only read.
Yeah.
Okay.
Read or listen.
Okay, and it is still a prototype.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
but we are launch soon, very soon.
Okay, but do you know what will be the price in the future for Europe?
Price.
What that mean?
Yeah.
It's around 1,000 USD, 1,000 euro.
1,000. Okay.
It's not decided yet.
And the Dot watch.
Yes.
Can you tell more about?
Sorry.
Can you tell more about the watch?
Watch.
How is the Luxembourg market?
You know the Apple smartwatch.
How is the what? Luxembourg
Right?
market.
But
Yeah.
this is the same with the Apple smartwatch. So, but just for the blind, so you can get a notification calling from home, or notification from Facebook, Instagram, anything. You can get any notification, and also you can use the basic watch function like date, time, or stopwatch, timer, these things. And there's a control app in smartwatch. If you have to use control app to use this watch, so you can save a memo in your control app, then you can read the memo in your dot watch.
Okay. So and it has 4 braille cells.
Yeah, what for bracelets for watch,
Yes.
because as you know, size is important to watch.
Yeah, indeed. And what is the price of the watch?
$399.
Sorry.
$399.
Okay.
So you have 2 years warranty. Yes, and 3 protection skins.
Yes.
Yes.
And it is possible to buy it in Europe.
Sorry?
It is possible to buy it in Europe.
Yeah, you can buy in Europe now.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, welcome.
This program is financially supported by the fundings from the European Commission.
You are listening to the EBU Access Cast, the first official podcast from European Blind Union about assistive technology for blind and partially sighted people. And here are the hosts.
EBU Access Cast number 11. My name is Mario Percinic, and we are in the May edition of our podcast. Today with me I have Tanja Kleut. Hello.
Hi.
Bart Simons from Belgium.
Hello, everyone.
And a special guest who joined us just recently, who's very young but very old podcaster in the blindness community from Poland, Mr. Paweł Masarczyk.
Hello. Nice to meet you, EBU Access Cast.
Yeah, welcome to the EBU Access Cast. Can you introduce yourself shortly? Who you are and what you do?
Sure thing. So, as Mario already said, my name is Paweł, and I'm from Poland. And for the last 10 years, in Poland, we have had a podcast running quite similar to this one, called Tyflo Podcast. And we've been doing sort of sum-ups and demonstrations of assistive technology and apps handled with assistive technology, except we did it simply in Polish, so many of you wouldn't be able to understand it, sadly. Recently, because of my traineeship at the European Parliament in Luxembourg, I got to meet Tanja and Mario, And that's how I'm here, and I'm really happy to be here. So yeah, that will be it.
Good to have you in the podcast.
Thank you.
So what's up, guys? Did you get anything new since the last time we talked from the tech devices, or nothing new in your inventory?
For my side, still nothing new. Even though I had some inspirations on the SightCity, but we'll cover this in a few seconds.
Okay, cool.
Same for me, except that I'm interested to try the Bose frames. I don't know if you have heard about them. It's like wireless headphone, but not it's not covering your ears. So it's a bit a competitor of the bone conduction headphones that we know from some time. So they sit on the bones in front of your ears. The Bose frames are a new concept. It's like glasses, like just simple or classical sunglasses, and you have speakers in the arms of the glasses, and they so they're also not covering your ears, but they are very close to your ears. So I'm very curious to try this out, but it's very recent that it's available in Europe. And I don't think it's already available in retail stores, so I don't like so much to order it online and send it back if it's nothing for me. So I hope to have the chance to try them out in a physical store soon.
Right. Do you know approximately what's the price of the product?
Online, I saw 230 euros, so it's quite expensive. But it would be another solution to have headphones that do not cover your ears. And of course, Bose is a very well-known brand for audio, so I guess the quality should be good.
This time we got a bunch of news from the SightCity, because some of us visited the SightCity 2019. And just briefly, if you don't know what the SightCity is, it's the basically European equivalent to the CSUN conference, which is like the largest conference about the assistive tech, which is held in the States. And SightCity is something like that. Every year it's organized in Frankfurt, Germany. And this year, after 2 years of break, I had a chance of being there together with Tanya and Pavel, where we met also for the first time. And we saw a bunch of new products and some old products, and we are bringing to you the interviews from various companies. So basically, what do you think about the SightCity? How it was, guys?
So I think it was interesting, even though I was expecting some other companies as well that unfortunately were not there presenting their products. But still, I think it was interesting for me. I was only there for 1 day. I would be happy that I had the possibility to be for 2 or 3 days. But there were 138 exhibitors. And according to the figures on the SightCity webpage, there were 3,800 visitors. So I think it's an impressive number if we take into consideration that this is only assistive technology for visually impaired persons. The first booth that we visited was from Vispero, and they showed us some products that we know already, but also I think it's interesting to mention that JAWS has an April update, and one of the novelties is that the heading navigation is improved, which personally I like, because till now it was possible to navigate through the heading levels by using the numbers on the row. So 1 for the heading with the level 1, 2 for the level 2, 3 for the 3, etc. but if there was no heading level 3 in that section, JAWS would tell you no heading level 3 in this section, even though there were 3 in the same page. So now the novelty is that JAWS navigates to the next 3 in the next section, if there is a 3 in the next section, and it will announce you also the higher level to which it belongs. So I think it's a nice feature.
Agree.
What do you think, guys? Are you using the numbers on the row keyboard?
For heading navigation, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, sometimes depending on the page structure, definitely yes. It's definitely a useful feature.
Yeah.
And it's good that they got it fixed finally after so many years.
Yes. Yeah, and then also they have the support for math type software, meaning that now with JAWS it's possible to read the math problems if we have the math type license. So on Freedom Scientific webpage they also provide Word document with the example. So anybody who wants to try it can try it, but the math type needs to be downloaded also, and you can try it in a trial version, and then if you like it you can have the license. And there are also some other news for JAWS, but you can focus on that too.
Sure, yeah, we'll put a little link in the show notes, and
yeah,
you can follow up from there.
Mm-hmm.
Is the maths thing, did you read into it, Tanya, more? Is it just for reading the problem, or can you also compose your own? Or can you use it, for instance, at school to deal with your classes? Or you just can read whatever somebody else put up on the internet? And if yes, is there like a specific format that needs to be followed, or a standard, or is it like MathML?
Yeah, from what I understand, you can read.
Yeah, but it's actually related to the MathML format. So basically, whatever you're using to prepare the MathML content, then you would be able to read it.
Yeah, but MathML was available and is still on web. But for example, this provides the possibility to read in Microsoft Word.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we are going forward. That's a good sign. Except the Vispero, what else did you see?
So then also the health tech products. I liked really much the one that is new. So Active Braille Plus that Mr. Kipke showed us during the interview. It is really ergonomic and light, and I really liked it. It is a 40 Braille cell Braille display and Braille note-taking device with also touch sensitivity.
And the rubber keys, they redesigned the keyboard because the unit itself is also a note taker. And what they've done is they redesigned the keys, so which is really important for the students who are in the classrooms, because the keys are really now, it's kind of rubber. It's using a rubber keys, and it's really quiet when you type on it. I have to say.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
And as it is ergonomic, it's also pleasant to, have your hands on the device and typing. Yeah. And Pavel, did you see some other Braille devices?
Yes, indeed. And I think we happened to see the same one, namely the Braillebook, which is interesting. It's unique in its way. It's made in Barcelona, in Spain, from what I understood. And it's a one-cell Braille display. When I held it in my hand for the first time, I immediately had to think of my shaving device because it had that kind of a form factor. It lies in your hand perfectly. Ideally, your index finger ends up on the Braille cell, which is just one, and it basically blinks every defined period of time a new letter. So you can read a book like this First comes one letter, the next letter, the next letter, and you can define how fast it changes. A little bit of training, I suppose you can become quite a quick Braille reader having just one cell at your disposal, which is really convenient when you're in a car or in a bus or in any other transport or anywhere where you don't have much space to extend the proper Braille display, yet you would like to enjoy a couple of pages of your favorite novel or some other read you actually have. And the good news is, for us here in Europe, by default, the device is using LibLouis, which means that most of our languages are supported. As long as LibLouis covers your language with the Braille table, it should be available in Braillebook as well. Braillebook accepts memory cards, accepts input from your computer. You can connect it and you can transfer the files that you need. It also has a built-in speech synthesis mechanism, which you can access by connecting an external sound source, like your headphones, most likely. And you can read the books normally, like with a TTS. I think it's a vocalizer, from what I heard.
The price is also surprisingly good. You will discover it in the interview that you did. For me, it's a bit of a throwback to my first note taker, which also had one Braille cell. I did all my secondary education with a device with only one Braille cell. Now I'm thinking back, how did I manage? But this was between 1992 and 1998. So it's true, it was a very compact device.
And what's the name of the device?
The product was called Braille Scope.
Mm-hmm.
It's a product designed by Sensotech here in Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
So it had just the 6 Braille cells, Braille keys, one Braille cell, a little LCD display, so the teacher could see what you were writing. So a very performant. At that time, it was a very useful machine. But yeah, one Braille cell is not much.
But the main idea is that it is portable.
Yes. I like from the description. I like.
Yeah, you can put it in your bag and travel with it wherever.
In your pocket, I would say.
Yeah, indeed.
A bit risky, but it would work, I guess.
And indeed, you can even read from your pocket.
Very original idea. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what is interesting, so it can, so it supports the PDF, EPUB, and TXT format. Because some of the Braille devices usually supports only the predefined formats, so PDF and EPUB is also covered.
Does it support any navigation? There is no jumping from heading to heading, for instance. So it's just reading cover to cover your book.
I don't know.
You can.
There is a tiny joystick at the side, so potentially you could do something with it. But I think the problem with SightCity always is that you don't have that much time to experiment with the device, so you never get to know all the features.
Yeah.
So perhaps there is something. There might be some navigation, or if it's not, it might be added in the future. I suppose you can update software there. And if you push the developers and the manufacturer hard enough, maybe they will add it, because it's indeed one of the basic things that should be there. What I would personally also add, it's so tempting to install, maybe in the second generation, like a tiny camera there that could do some basic OCR. Apparently, back when I wasn't alive yet, there was a device called Optacon, which sort of worked like this, that you had like a character under your finger and you did sort of scanning with your camera. Maybe something like that. Maybe somebody could pick up on this idea, and maybe Braillebook could have this in the future. That would be great, actually. But no, the device was great.
Yeah, actually, I saw the device as well myself, and to be honest, when you hear at the beginning the information that like device has only one Braille cell, you get like, okay, how does this thing work? But once you start reading on it, I was able to read the book quite efficiently, and believe me, this thing can refresh the stuff really fast. So you can set up your rate of reading to really quick pace, and yeah, it's possible to navigate with this thing and read your content. So just one thing to clarify for the listeners. So this is only read-only device. So basically, you need to load the content into it in order to read it. You cannot type anything on that. But once you get your content stored on the device, it really works extremely well. I was really surprised.
And it doesn't do the thing that the dot watch does, which is when you have a finger on your cell, some of the dots might not come up because you're pressing the pins too hard. It doesn't happen there. It's perfect. It just comes up under your finger.
Yeah, that's correct. And we saw also a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, we can mention also the dot watch and the dot mini, which is a prototype that we saw. So the dot watch was launched on the market already
few years
so far, and it is now also possible to buy it in Europe. So it is very light. When I saw it on SightCity 2 years ago, I really liked it because it's a watch that can show you discreetly the time, and you don't need so much time to check the on the regular tactile watches. You need some time to discover where
the hands are. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And on this one, I think you can be quicker, but then it depends also on the person. So it is very light. It has only 60 grams, and the battery can last even 10 days, taking into consideration that this is a smartwatch. So it can also give you the notification from your smartphone, so you can pair it with your smartphone. And one nice feature is that you can even find it with your smartphone, because you pair it, and then if you cannot find it in the room, you can search for it, and then the watch will vibrate. And then there is a new product from Dot Incorporation. It is the Dot Mini. It is the low-cost Braille display, comparing to other Braille devices that we have currently on the market. Also, TTS voices are available on the reader. For the moment, only English and Korean, but the idea is to expand it to the same languages that the Dot Watch covers, like English, French, German, Spanish, Czech, Russian. You saw it also, Mario. What do you think?
I think that by the concept, it's really interesting. Since it's very small, I'd like to see it also as a note taker, because right now it's only possible to read the stuff and connect. If you connect it via PC, it will work as your Braille display. But what's really interesting about the unit is the fact that it's not only Braille device. It has also a built-in speaker and a built-in TTS. Basically, it's a Google TTS built in. So you can choose whether you want to listen to your content, or you can also read the content. The good thing about the Dot Mini is that since it has a speaker built in, it supports DAISY format, so you can load your DAISY content into it. And if your DAISY content is also audio, if it supports audio, then you can also listen to the audio content, because it has a built-in kind of DAISY player to it. And the unit itself is really very, very light, I have to say.
Mm-hmm. May I ask, does it have the same inconvenience that Pavel mentioned about the Dot Watch, that you should lift your fingers when it's refreshing?
I didn't notice this.
I didn't notice. I think that they improved on that.
Okay.
But I also didn't notice this problem on the watch. I think it was improved. It is possible that it happens, but I did personally, when I was touching the watch, I didn't notice this problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
So the Dot Mini is not launched yet on the market. They will launch it very soon, basically, and they said that the price point for the unit is about 1,000 euros, which puts the product in quite competitive competitive price range comparing to the others.
Yeah.
Of course,
it's interesting to have it. It's interesting to have it in education, for example, as it has TTS built in. It is good for somebody who is learning Braille, so you can both read Braille and listen. But it would be interesting to have input functionality, meaning that you can type in, so to be complete.
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, since the unit is really small, if the unit would be able to have the Braille input as well, that would be then we would have the product, which would be really interesting to have, because it's small and perhaps it's not expensive and it's quiet. I mean, comparing it to the other products, like let's say the Orbit Reader, which falls into the cheaper categories of the devices, and it's also small, the dot itself is really quiet. So yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunately,
okay, we will see.
Unfortunately, as we heard during their interviews on the American Printing House booth, the Orbit Reader is currently not
available.
In sale.
Yeah.
Yes. So I hope that they will resolve this issue, because I think that Orbit was an interesting product, but
yeah, I still think that the Orbit is really interesting product, and it's as we can read and hear in the other podcasts, it's sad to see that there were problems occurring, and that people had to wait for a long time for units to be shipped, and then the unit had some defects and so on. But yeah, let's hope that it will be fixed and that the Orbit will be back.
Yeah.
Mentioning of the APH, we were at the APH booth as well, and we saw a product that we briefly mentioned in one of the previous episodes. It's called the Code Jumper. So they were showing it around, and I think that it's really cool. I mean, the products for anybody, especially for kids who would like to start learning programming and learning how the stuff works. It's really nice.
It's really nice. I had the occasion to see it at the Microsoft event last month, and I must say, from the description, I couldn't really work out how it would look like, because they speak about pots and switches. But if you touch it, then I only understood what they really mean, and I can only confirm that when you see it, it's really you want to start working with it, and I believe it works really well. But from the description alone in text, I couldn't really understand what it was. But if you touch it, I think you fall in love with it immediately. So it's good that they show it now also in Europe, and I hope that it will be for sale soon. We even already told them that we would be happy to translate it into Dutch to be able to start using it.
Yeah, they're saying that their plans are to launch. I found out the info that they're preparing to launch this summer the product, and APH will be their distributor for the product. So it will be it will be available for sale worldwide. And yeah, if additional translations of the product could be done, which I don't see any difficulties with doing it. It would be great to have it. And yeah, it could. I think that it has really bright future, because it can be used in lots of educational institutions for the blind, as well as, for example, on the ICC computer camps during summer, where the youngsters could be introduced to programming who don't know anything. I mean, the idea itself is really good, and I have to say Microsoft has done a good job in making this. Yeah, besides the APH, is there anything else, guys, you would like to mention that you saw?
Yes, I would like to mention the Tact Plus printer from Kanematsu Corporation.
Oh, so that was great.
Yes, it was interesting to see a different concept of a Braille and 3D image printer. So it is the first of this kind, and so it doesn't emboss as mechanical printers do that we know, but it uses thermal heating system on a capsule paper. So the paper is raised on that part where the heating was done. So, and what is interesting is that it can be directly printed from Microsoft Word or other programs. You don't have to use special software for it. You just need a driver for the printer.
Yeah, and you need the Braille fonts for the particular language.
Yes.
And if you have the Braille font for the particular language, you can basically print out anything in Braille, which I find it really revolutionary.
Yes, indeed. And it's very small.
It's really small. It's the size
of an inkjet printer.
Yeah, something like that.
It is only 5 kilograms. So according to Braille embossers that we know, it is much smaller. And it's quiet.
And it's dead quiet. It's absolutely dead quiet. We were standing next to it, and we asked them to show us the demonstration, how it works. It was printing something for us in front of us, and we basically couldn't hear it. And yes. I was really astonished. I mean, positively astonished by that. It was really something new to see. And Kanematsu Corporation is looking right now for the distributors all over the Europe. And yeah, I think that the product itself is really good.
I heard from a colleague who saw the device that, as you say, it's small, everything you mentioned, but that it was quite slow in printing.
It's not the fastest. That's true. I mean, you need about, let's say, 2 minutes per page to print it out.
1 to 2 minutes, so
something like that. Yeah. Depending also because in the same time you are able to print the graphics and the Braille if you want.
That's a nice one. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you take into account the thing that it has to do the 3D graphic and the Braille, well, then I would say that's okay. Well,
that's their strength. I think it's not a competitor for high volume printing, but for more specialized designs. I think I saw the result. He brought one sheet, and I think it looks very promising indeed.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to be used in a classroom.
If you were 2 years ago at SightCity as well, did you stop by the stand of Nippon Telesoft, so the people who are responsible for the Seika display?
We didn't stop.
They also had a similar device.
We stopped this year, but the printer was not there.
Yeah, we wanted to see it, but they didn't have the printer to show us because they said that they had some problems with the delivery of the stuff. It would arrive later that day or the next day. So
years ago, and it was also quiet, definitely. I don't remember how big it was though. Could have been also, but I'm not sure if it did images. It certainly did Braille because they printed for me a whole sheet of text, like a sheet of their own advertising campaigns or a leaflet with what they make. But I don't think it can do graphics. They printed out a whole sheet of paper for me in Braille, and it was good quality, but I'm not sure if the device actually supports image printing. But nevertheless, it means that there is a need for such a device because it's already a second one. So
yeah, but I know that some printers can print also images, but you have to have the very expensive software, and you have to know how it works and so on. So the software itself is so expensive that usually you don't have such software.
Did you also get to the detail, because I didn't fetch that one, I also spoke to the representative of Kanematsu. Can you control the printing process or send files to it from anywhere, like from a web interface, from your smartphone, from another computer on the network and things like that, or they don't support this?
Well, they are saying that the printer is supporting Wi-Fi.
Yes.
I don't know I don't know whether you can print it from
yes. I think yes, because it was written that it supports iOS, and I think yes.
I have to say, the only expensive stuff at this moment are basically these special paper sheets, and those sheets comes with the heating capsules, and they were saying that one sheet is about €1.
€1, yes.
So that's what's kind of expensive for the moment. But okay, in the same time, let's take into account the fact that it's totally new technology. So I think that in a few years, if the thing really gets enough attention and stuff, that we could also see the dropout of the prices, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's similar with the swell paper. It's also cost €1 per sheet, and these devices are really old and you can't buy them anymore, as far as I heard. So it's really good that there is a successor product. So again, you will not use this for high volume, but for mostly, I think, for images or from special printing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's. I was not really shocked if I saw this. It's not simple paper, so I was not shocked when I heard that it's €1 per page, which we know already for image printing with the old devices.
Okay. Yeah, and speaking of the image printing for Braille, I know that many people are now being concerned about the climate. And producing units that are not polluting around. So because this new printer from Kanematsu is not only dead quiet, but when you print something, it doesn't produce any bad smells, which is not the case when with the other units which are being used around for tactile printing.
Yeah, like burnt plastic.
Yeah, it's terrible, man. I have to say, we have one unit also at my work where we are producing the content for the students. And when this unit is being used, my goodness, it smells like your building is on fire. It's it's terrible. Yeah. so yeah, it's also a good sign to see that this doesn't produce any extra unwanted smells, and it works nice. Pavel, you saw some products also for the older people and for which are like using the voice assistants.
Yeah. So for one, Italy was the so-called Felix phone, and if you follow the market recently, you probably heard of the Blind Shell Classic. It's a more or less similar device. So it's a self-voiced mobile phone with a T9 style keypad, like your old Nokia did. And you can use a very basic set of features: calling, texting, contact list. The lady who spoke with me also mentioned controlling your thermostat, but as she didn't provide too many details, I don't know to what extent it's compatible with smart devices, with your Internet of Things, smart home. So I can't comment on that. Porting available in English, Italian, and I think French. And they also presented an OCR system controlled via gestures that you perform on a surface, for instance, on your table, where the light of the projector falls. So you can set the projector to light your table up, and then by performing swipes and taps, you control the system, which is a self-voiced system, so you don't need your screen reader for this. Then there was a company called Media Voice, which introduced a system called Speaky, which lets you operate the websites that people usually do, so YouTube, some podcasts, radio, and so on, with your voice commands. So there is a voice menu that introduces itself to you. It tells you which options you have, and you press the button on a remote control, which is also your microphone, and it's attached to your computer via Bluetooth. And you tell it to open YouTube, for instance, then you tell it search for this or that. and it will find it, and so on and so forth. So you can control the whole experience with voice commands. What I also saw was a device that I somehow sentimentally liked, even though I don't see myself as a target group, called Voxy TV, from which lets consume your favorite kinds of media and information in form of an add-on device that you connect to your TV system or your hi-fi over jack or HDMI. And with a special system of menus that you go through, you can access your Spotify, your Netflix, your YouTube, radios directory. You can even find your way from A to B with Google Maps. It's like a textual description where you should go, which bus you should take if you need it, and so on. There is also a translator. There is even an email client. And the interesting thing is that you can actually respond to emails either by dictating your response with voice, or by attaching an external keyboard, or by choosing the letters by navigating through the whole alphabet with your arrow keys and pressing enter every time you find your letter, which is slow. But I think that's the fastest you can do on remote control that doesn't even have a numerical keypad. The device was really interesting because it reminded me of the Clanker player, if you ever used that one. Because that are into a for simple use interface. And also the device is like, it stands in your living room, so everyone can pick the remote and use it if they need it. So you can be quite inclusive to your friends who come around, or if you're a blind family, you can also use this to even order your Uber. Actually, in the version they presented at CSUN, it was not available in the European version, which I saw. You could, or they are planning to introduce Uber rides, so you will be able to order your Uber from within the device itself. And the last thing I saw was Bruno. Bruno is a latent scanning device in which you place a page of text. You press a button, it gets scanned, it will be read out to you. You can adjust the speed, language, and navigate by sentence. That's everything you can do with the buttons of the device. If you need anything more, you have to connect an external keyboard or screen and use a screen reader. The feature of the device is that the scanning surface goes up to the edge, so you actually don't have to worry about the book, which has an index part that the binding part that binds 2 pages. You can totally place your book up to the edge of the scanner, and even the part which slightly goes into the binding will be scanned properly. You don't have to press hard on the cover of the scanner to have everything scanned properly. And they can install any TTS you prefer. You just have to let them know in advance which one you need, or your reseller needs to do it. So it's especially handy if you come from a country where there are no big players on the market, like Vocalizer or Acapella, and you need a special non-standard synth to be installed. They can do it for you.
Okay, yeah, that's nice.
And I would like to mention also one interesting product that I saw is a washing machine from Miele brand. So probably Miele is known to you. It's a very famous company that produces high quality house appliances. What is interesting with this washing machine is that it is fully accessible to a person who is visually impaired. So it has several columns of buttons, and each column is indicated by tactile marker. Yes. So, for example, in the first column you have small dashes. In the second you have crosses, etc. So then it has also the touch sensitivity on the button. So when you are on the lower one, it gives you a lower sound, and on the higher, a higher sound, which would mean that the lower one is a lower temperature and the higher is a higher temperature, or it depends also on the program. Now more and more washing machines are touch only. Okay, some of them can be controlled via the application, but we have to take into account also the accessibility of the application. But this, for example, can be used also by somebody who is not so techy.
Yeah, I have to say I saw the device as well. definitely you need to check out the manual of the device before you start using it. It doesn't have a built-in TTS, but if you take into account that you have like sound indication, like of how many degrees did you set or which program did you choose, and especially with these combinations of using the buttons on the various in various columns, I could see myself using it in, like, if I would have like the training, yeah, after the very short
After
training,
you learn, after you
it's very
learn
useful.
the buttons, then you know it's easy to find them.
Yeah. So
and also what's worth mentioning is that the company will provide you, at least for German, with a manual in Braille and audio formats. So you can count on the manual being accessible.
Yeah, that's
because
great.
the thing about Miele as a company, and we will provide the link in the show notes, is that they started producing various kind of appliances for house products. Yeah, and they're doing it together with the organizations for people with disabilities, such as German Association for the Blind. So it's not that they are just developing the products by themselves and that they're not consulting appropriate institutions. So that's good. And yeah, it was it's really nice to see that such units are coming along. They said that this unit is slowly appearing on the market. So right now it's possible to get it from Germany and UK and Spain, if I remember correctly. And yeah, we will see the product launching probably soon in the other parts of Europe as well.
One thing that I was disappointed is that when I was checking which booths I wanted to visit, is that some of the websites were not accessible. So the manufacturers provide assistive technologies or solutions for persons who are visually impaired, but not all of them have the accessible websites. Things like no alternative text on images, or difficult to navigate, or the language menu is like 10th or 20th down in the content. And if you have a website in different languages, it would be good that it is on the top of the page so that you can find it easily if you don't understand the language. Or also no headings. For some, even the screen reader was slowed down, so it was really difficult to navigate. I was disappointed with this. But this applies only to some websites, but
some of them were not reachable at all.
Indeed,
worth mentioning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's too bad.
I hope that this will improve in the future, because of course, if you are creating devices for persons who are visually impaired, you have to know that not only persons who are sighted will visit, but also visually impaired persons themselves. Of course.
Sure. Yeah. I absolutely agree on that. And I hope that in the next few years we will see the drastic improvements because of the new regulations.
On the 16th of May, we had the Global Accessibility Awareness Day that highlights the need of greater digital accessibility in the world. This year was Thursday, the 16th of May, but it is marked each year on a third Thursday in May. So it is important that we know it very well that as technology evolves, it is crucial to take into consideration the accessibility of those technologies. And this is the occasion where we ask for attention of developers, designers, and organizations to think about accessibility and to highlight what they've done so far, and also to look in the future to think about further solutions and ideas. So it's good to have a special day on accessibility. And there were many organizations this year, like before, who were marking the Global Accessibility Awareness Day.
Yeah, I have to say that Also, on the last Accessibility Awareness Day on 2018, we launched our first episode. So it's also very nice that we launched. And at that time, and we have been with you for 1 year. And we are hoping to bring you much more content in the future. Also, what you can do on the Global Accessibility Awareness Day is, once you have some idea of promoting some stuff that's accessible in whatever your company or institutions where you're working, you can also say some nice words about our podcast. And that's also raising awareness, because we are talking about the assistive tech, which for persons with disabilities is a very important subject.
Yeah, maybe for us it's normal, but I'm sure that for somebody who is sighted can be really informative.
Sure. Absolutely, yes. All right. So this was our kind of show special dedicated to the SightCity 2019. Guys, thank you very much for coming in on the show, and thank you for sharing your experiences. And if you have anything that you saw on the SightCity and you would like to add, or for additional comments, feel free to send us an email, drop us a tweet, and we'll be with you in the next episode.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you for listening. This has been EBU Access Cast.